I want you to check out this map. It's from Carfax. It shows you how dangerous it is in specific states it is to drive during fall. Not winter, but fall. Carfax data shows 39 out of the 50 states, including North Carolina, see more crashes in the fall than any other time of year. So tonight we're joined by Patrick Olson with Carfax to find out, all right, what's causing that and what can drivers do to stay a little bit safer this fall season? So why are we in that group of 39 where the crashes are rising?
Well, there's three key factors really, and you're amongst 70 some odd million drivers in the country who are at kind of a danger in fall. And there's three big reasons. One, darkness. When the clocks fall back, 1 week we're driving in the sun, driving home. The next week it's dark. American drivers are twice as likely to have an accident in the dark as they are in the daylight. So that's one problem. Secondly, there's a lot of wet leaves on the ground. You're talking about the storm coming this weekend. It's going to put a lot of wet leaves on the ground. A car normally stops from 60 miles an hour in about 80 feet. If they hit wet leaves, though, they can go more than 200 feet. And that puts a lot of cars into the ditch. Finally, believe it or not, it's deer mating season in much of the country. And the majority of car and deer crashes tend to happen in the fall throughout the country.
Yeah, I think we have an issue every time it rains really hard and people are, using their wipers and their lights and all that other kind of stuff. There's always that one person who's like zigzagging and driving really fast, right? And you're thinking to yourself, what is it that they know that we don't know?
They don't know anything. What everyone needs to do is they got to slow down. One of the things I've seen develop recently are people who turn on their hazard lights on surface streets to warn drivers of something. When you're on the interstate and you're going at 45 because the rain's coming down so hard, the hazard lights can really help tell other drivers you're there. On city streets and surface streets, all it does is confuse people about which direction you're going.
Yeah, you can't tell when someone is trying to get from one lane to another lane, especially trying to get off the interstate, that kind of thing. So that is a problem.
Absolutely.
All right, so anything else that we need to keep in the top of our minds when it comes to, especially with the storm coming and all of the wet weather?
Yeah, so a few things. One, make sure that you've got an emergency kit in your car now for all of winter. So that should include food. It should include fresh water. It should include flares. It should include a phone charger. You want to make sure you've got a blanket in there. Just make sure you've got everything you might need if for some chance you wind up by the side of the road stranded.
All right, I know in wintertime we usually do the thing of, hey, make sure your air pressure is good because the cold weather takes the air pressure. Are there different kinds of maintenance things that we should be thinking about this time of year?
There's a bunch of things, and tires are a great one because very often as we make that move into fall, we'll see, the morning temps suddenly drop down to the 30s and 40s, and that can let a lot of air out of your tires. Other things to do, take your car to a local auto parts place and ask them to check your battery strength. You don't want to discover one morning that it's gotten so cold that now your car is just sitting dead in the driveway. Check your wiper fluid, make sure it's full. When you get that awful sort of gunk that gets kicked up on your windshield and you can't clean it off anymore, that's no good. At the same time, check your blades. Make sure they're not streaking all over your windshield. And finally, like I said, you got to make sure you've got that survival kit in the car.
Yeah, and we'll all be needing that. And I think to myself, with the storm coming, sometimes you need that survival kit at home and you need it in the car, both, depending on what's about to happen, right? Well, thank you for your time and your expertise. We're going to put this in the Two Wants to Know section of our website right now. Tim's going to get us caught up on the forecast.